Greetings. Welcome back to Ministry Monday. This is Carlton Coon. I am safely ensconced in a hotel in Connecticut today. I'm thrilled with what I see happening in the work of God. Just this past several days, I was with a number of the pastors and pastors' wives in the Connecticut district, and there is a fresh sense of vitality and enthusiasm. And it's not just there. I suppose it was week before last. I was in Tennessee speaking at a ministers' conference or revival conference. They call it on leadership. And again, there's a real freshness. There's something happening. And I realize that we're living in a complex world and that things are not easy, but good things are happening in Christ. And I'm very, very thankful for that. I won't take a lot of your time today, but I want to continue this theme about disciple making. And there is a second major characteristic of a disciple of Christ that comes straight from the Lord. By this shall all men know that you're my disciples, that you have love one to another. Well, number one, it needs to be constantly restated that discipleship and being a disciple of Christ is a lifelong process. We never stop learning. We never stop applying freshly and at another dimension and depth the principles of Christ. But in this conversation, the focus is on maturing new believers into disciples of Christ. And so here we have this indicator that by this shall men know that they are my disciples, that they have loved one to another. It's important that we are clear on this. We're not talking about a warm fuzzy, but instead it's the 1 Corinthians sort of love, an active love. It's long-suffering. It's not self-promoting. All of the other behaviors that are associated with that mature love, that agape kind of love. So how does this newcomer who often comes into the church and they are fresh from a world of anger and hatred and bitterness and resentment, how do they mature enough to love other people who are in the body of Christ? And we could talk about the characteristics of love. It's important that we do that we define, describe, determine all of these. But to talk about love is not to learn how to apply it. Instead, new converts are going to learn how love works by observing love in action. It's how we treat each other. We're all part of an imperfect congregation. I'm an imperfect Christian leader. All of us are. But there is something in us, all of us, that is unlovable. But your loving treatment of unlovable me and my lovable treatment of you, in spite of your failures, in spite of those oddities, those characteristics that we don't particularly like about each other. That's where it's learned, is in this observation that these people love and care about each other, not because they're all perfect, not because that they all agree on everything or even like each other, but they express love toward each other. The common behavior of gossip and tale-bearing, of devaluing others and having prejudices, whether they're racial or whether our prejudice against those who are poor, or some people are prejudiced against those who are well-to-do. Any of those do not teach love. So as a Christian leader, it is my responsibility to create an environment where love matures and it becomes progressively stronger. No unloving behavior can be seen in me. And again, I'm imperfect. That's not the way it always works out. Instead, I'm to be, trying to be, a primary example of love for other people. Have there been times when you didn't act in a loving way? Sure there have. Teaching folks about love won't get it done. It has to be something experienced in the laboratory of life. Now, I'm talking about disciple making, and I want to mention to you that in a few days, our training course on mastering disciple making will reopen for new students. First time it's been open in quite a few months. We only open mastering disciple making 3 or 4 times a year. And there's a reason. That way we can give better attention to those who are involved. And this is a comprehensive course. It has over 50 videos, handouts, training materials. It teaches you how to establish a systematic disciple-making effort, including giving these people who are new to the church an opportunity to learn about how to love each other. This page talks about that course, and of course the page is not as complete as just sitting down and looking at everything, but I've included a link below to that landing page. And by the way, there's a third off right now, and take advantage of that if you'd like to. By this shall all men know that your converts have become disciples of Christ because they have love one to another. They learn that from observation more than by instruction. God bless you. Have a great week. Join the rest of the world. Let's have revival and see people born again.